Okay, so taking the concepts from this section a little bit further, this is a slightly more complicated problem from this section. So, where I would start with this is pretty much the same place where we started with section 2.1, which is to get rid of parentheses and combine like terms before you start moving stuff around. So I'm going to start by multiplying this 1/2 out in front. I know people aren't a big fan of fractions, but don't let them scare you. Just remember your rules for how to multiply fractions and it'll be fine. So if we've got 1/2 times 2x, so if you've got a number multiplied by something with a variable in it, the variable doesn't get involved. You're just going to multiply this number by this number. And so 1/2 times 2 is the same as, and what I would recommend is if you've got any whole numbers, write them as their improper fraction, which is always something over 1. And 1/2 times 2 over 1 is just 1. So therefore 1/2 times 2x is just x. And then 1/2 times a -1, again if I do that down here, again we'll take that whole number, put it over 1. So I've got 1 times -1, which would be -1, and then 2 times 1, which is 2. So this side simplifies to x minus 1/2. And then on this side, I'm going to go ahead and combine my terms here. So I've got a -1/7 minus a 3/7. So when you're dealing with subtracting fractions, if they have the same denominator, then all you have to do is do the subtraction in the numerator, and then it all goes over that same denominator. So -1 minus 3 is -4 over 7. So this is now -4/7. And now, to get the x by itself, I'm going to move this 1/2 over to this side, because this is the side that has the numbers. So I'm going to do that by adding 1/2 to both sides. So this side is easy, they cancel. So now we've got just x. And now x equals -4/7 plus 1/2. So, as I mentioned up here, when you're dealing with subtraction, if you've got the same denominator, you can just, for addition and subtraction, you can just add the numerators or subtract the numerators, depending on what operation you're doing. But in this case, we don't have the same denominator, which means that we need to find the common denominator first. And the common denominator for 7 and 2, you're looking for that least common multiple, meaning a number that is divisible by both, and the smallest number that fits that bill is 14, right? Because 14 is divisible by 7, and it's divisible by 2. So I'm going to make these fractions into something over 14. So, I'll write that out here. So then you have to ask yourself, okay, what do I need to multiply 7 by to get 14? Well, the answer to that is 2, right? So that's what we're doing, but whatever you do to the bottom, you also have to do to the top. So we've got -4 times 2, which gives us -8. Sorry, that doesn't really look like an 8. Trust me, I mean that's an 8. And then over here, we're going to ask ourselves, okay, what do I need to multiply 2 by to get 14? Well, that's obviously 7. So if I do that multiplication, I now, for the numerator for this other fraction, I've got 1 times 7, which is 7. And since this was positive, so now I have -8 over 14 plus 7 over 14. So now I can write that together as one fraction. And -8 plus 7 is -1. So therefore, x equals -1 over 14. Please let me know if you have questions.